So today's lesson is 13.6, compare fractions, use the number line. I can compare two fractions by locating them on a number line. I can also reason about math. Tanya, Reyes, and Ryan each used a bag of flour to make modeling clay. The bags were labeled 3/4 pounds, 1/4 pound, and 2/4 pound. Show these fractions on a number line, and how can you use the number line to compare two of these fractions? So you can use reasoning to compare fractions. Think about the size of the fractions. We know that it's going to start with 1/4. After 1/4 comes 2/4. After 2/4 comes 3/4. 1 is going to be 4/4. Okay, this is equivalent to 1/2 because it's in between half. Okay. So we can compare 1/3 and 1/4 and 3/4. So 1/4 is less than 3/4. Does that make sense? Okay. If the bags were labeled 4/8, 3/8, 6/8, and how could a number line help you solve this problem? So here we always know that it's going to start with 1/8. And then after that comes 2/8, 3/8, which is one of ours, 4/8, which is another one, 5/8, 6/8, which is another one, and 7/8. Okay, so we could say that 3/8 is less than 6/8. Page 703, 13.6. On the back, it says, how can you compare fractions using the number line? Talia has two different lengths of ribbon and lengths of blue and red ribbon. Does she have more blue ribbon or more red ribbon? So if we look at the numerators and denominators of each, we have 2/3 and 1/3. Okay? So if you look down here, it says the fractions both refer to 1 yard of ribbon. This is the whole. You can use a number line to compare 1/3, 2/3, and then the whole. The farther to the right the fraction is on the number line, the greater the fraction. On the number line, 2/3 is farther to the right than 1/3. So therefore 2/3 is greater than 1/3. So she has more blue ribbon than red ribbon. And always our number lines are going to start with 1 over the denominator, 2 over the denominator. This in this case would be equivalent to 3/3. Talia has an additional length of green ribbon that measures 3/6. How can you use the number line to compare the length of the green ribbon to the lengths of the blue and red ribbons? So you have 2/3 and 1/3. Okay, we need equivalent fractions. We have 3/6 of green. Okay, so if we multiply this one by 2, we get 4/6, and this one by 2, we get 2/6. Okay, so here again, we know 2/6 comes first on the number line after 1, then 3/6, then 4/6. So she has green here, red, and blue. Talia has more blue ribbon than green. She has more blue than green because if you look here, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, red, green, blue. Going on to page 705, which is your guided practice. When two fractions refer to the same whole, what do you notice when the denominators you are comparing are the same? You want to use the numerator, which would be the top number, to compare those fractions. Write a problem that compares two fractions with different numerators. So we could say 2/3 and 1/3. Which one's bigger? 2/3. Which one's smaller? 1/3. Here it says compare fractions using less than, greater than, or equal to. Use the number lines to help. So you have 2/4, which is here, and 2/3, which is here. Which one is bigger? Closer to 1? 2/3. The next problem, number 4. You have 2/6, 1/3. They are equal. They are the same distance from 0, same distance to 1. Last problem here, we have 5/8, 3/8. 5/8 is greater than, it's closer to 1. 3/8 is closer to 0. You need to do these problems down here on your own. On the back, let's see. Randy wants to save $39. The table shows how much money he has saved. Explain how you can use estimation to decide if he has saved enough money. So estimating, remember, if it's greater than 5, it goes up. Less than 5, it's going to go down. Okay, so 14 is going to become 10. And then you can do the April, May to solve to see if $39 is enough. Scott ate 2/8 of a fruit bar. Anne ate 4/8 of a different fruit bar. Can you tell who ate more of the fruit bar, Scott or Anne? So it's asking you to compare the two fractions. Matt and Adria have identical pieces of cardboard for an art project. Matt uses 2/3 of his piece and Adria uses 2/6 of her piece. Who uses more, Matt or Adria? Here you have to make this what times what equals 6. 3 times 2. So you have to multiply this fraction by 2 to get your fraction to compare to this one. Some friends shared a pizza. Nicole ate 2/8 of the pizza. Chris ate 1/8 more than Johan. Mike ate 1/8 of the pizza. Johan ate 1/8 more than Mike. Who ate the most pizza? Some friends shared a pizza. Nicole ate 2/8. So we know Nicole ate 2/8. Chris ate 1/8 more than Johan. Mike ate 1/8 of the pizza. Johan ate 1/8 more than Mike, so Johan ate 2/8. Okay, 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 2. So Chris ate 1/8 more than Johan. 1 plus 2 equals 3/8 for Chris. I want you to plot the names on the number line. Inez has 2 rows of plants. There are 8 plants in each row. Each plant has 3 flowers. How many flowers are there in all? So there's 2 rows, 8 plants. Each plant has 3 flowers. So you need to use what you know about multiplication to figure that one out. On the bottom, Daniel has walked 3/4 of a mile. Theo has walked 5/8. Complete the number lines to show these fractions. Plotting your fractions on the number lines and then use the number lines to compare the fractions. Write a comparison using less than, greater than, or equal to, and explain how you used the number lines. You also need to turn in the homework online on Google Classroom for this assignment as well.